Bocchi the Rock is not your average rock band anime. Unlike any other, like K-On!, Beck, or even Nana, Bocchi the Rock Iceberg consists of 90 entries from 6 different tiers. You know how these icebergs work. So sit back, relax, and let's get this iceberg started with Tier 1. Aki Hamaji is a Japanese manga artist. She is well known for making the Bocchi the Rock series and Kikuri spin-off, as well these series right here too, according to the Wikia page. She has a YouTube channel where she does her live streams and has 2 Twitter accounts. While her first account is just her normal one, her second is pretty different, but we'll talk about it later. Guitar Hero is Bocchi's channel name, and is a reference to a video game series called Guitar Hero. Despite her breaking 30,000 subscribers and posting videos about popular song covers, Nijika called Bocchi's channel name a bit cringy. Episode 8. Nijika finds out Bocchi is Guitar Hero. Episode 12, Bocchi's dad noticed her videos were getting a fair number of views, so he quietly monetized her channel while it's under a family account, then gave Bocchi 300,000 yen. She bought a new guitar with it, and that cost somewhere around 100,000 yen. But did you know there's a Bocchi Guitar Hero Twitter account called Guitar Hero 0221, handled by Aki Hamaji herself? These tweets are mostly Bocchi posting videos and doing other things. According to this tweet by Bocchi the News, the history goes back to 2019 when the manga series was in the run for Tsugi Manga 2019. Next Manga Award is an annual award for manga series presented by Kadokawa Corporation's Da Vinci Magazine and Nico Nico streaming website. It is divided into 2 categories, one for print manga and one for web manga. There are 20 winners for each side, making a grand total of 40 winners. In this case, Bocchi the Rock won the 2019 print category. K-On! In episode 4, there's a line where Ryo said, that line right there is a K-On! Reference. By looking at the K-On! Opening, they do the Kirara jump all at once, making this anime god tier. There's many other anime shows that have done this before. There's a poster on the bottom left that looks like Ryo Yamada, Yui Hirasawa, and Ui Hirasawa. Coincidence? I think not. But it turns out this poster is actually Ryo's old band called the Hamukidata. Not to mention that Aki Hamaji did draw Miyo Akiyama's artwork in her style back in 2020. Ritsu sounds like Nijika because they both play the drums. Miyo Akiyama's singing kinda reminds me of Kita's singing. There's even people who've never watched Bocchi that thinks it's a K-On! Clone, but it's far from that. Dorito Top is Nijika / Seiko's top reference to a chip brand called Doritos. And also, Eliza Shimizu's top looks like a Pringle, or a boomerang, but it's actually an ahoge. And there's a meme that some people want to cut off her Dorito top. Nijika Ahoge game is a fan-made game created by Tamani Damani. You click on Nijika's Ahoge and duplicate them to feed Ryo Doritos. When Seika appears, throw her Bocchi-chan. If you get more than 2 Bocchis, there's a chance to make Kita appear. If you feed Ryo 10 bags of Doritos, Futari will appear. Starry Soda is a drink reference to the Starry Livehouse in Shimokitazawa. Get it? Because they both have Starry in the name? The reason why is because Pepsi decided to scrap the Sierra Mist and replace it with a new variant called Starry that was launched nationwide on January 1st, 2023. They discontinued Sierra Mist because there's an increased demand for lemon lime sodas, despite it boasting 1 billion in annual sales back in 2021. Nowadays, people will watch Bocchi the Rock while they drink Starry Soda. Shelter is the real-life version of Starry Livehouse in Shimokitazawa. Many of the Bocchi the Rock real-life locations take place in Shimokitazawa. That includes Shimokitazawa Station, Village Vanguard, Senrogai, Acorn Plaza Park, and Shelter. Shimokitazawa is a trendy neighborhood in Tokyo that's best known for its vintage clothing shops, cafes, and live music venues. On January 8th, 2023, a request regarding Starry's IRL location Shelter from the anime production team to all fans. Then in late April 2023, a warning sign has been put up at Livehouse Shelter. I'm pretty sure they removed this after it wasn't busy.
Season 2. After Bocchi the Rock got extremely popular in Japan back in 2022, a lot of people want this show to get a Season 2, and I think that might happen considering they're making a Bocchi compilation movie. But there's 2 people that took it to the extreme, North Yu and Chair. North Yu been counting the number of days since December 26th and won't stop until Season 2, 2 Episode 1 releases. As of September 7th, 2023, he has counted 256 days. Chair, on the other hand, is even crazier. His goal is to rewatch the Bocchi anime 100 times. He's rewatched it 52 times. For comparison, that's 624 episodes. You can watch 52 different 12-episode anime shows, but he had other plans. He was going to do the same for Bocchi Season 2 once it was released. What a legend. Slow Loop. There's 2 Slow Loop references across both shows. Kasoku Band's debut was actually a cameo of them in episode 10 of Slow Loop, released on March 11th, 2022. You can see Bocchi's 2 fans waving to her. This fan here literally looks like fan 1. They both got brown hair and eyes. Plus, they're wearing the hat. In episode 10 of Bocchi the Rock, we can see Eliza Shimizu show 2 keychains of Managi Hiyori and Managi Koharu from Slow Loop. The reason both series reference each other in episode 10 is because they both ran in Manga Time Kirara. The authors of both shows are actually friends in real life. They even did a Bocchi the Rock collaboration illustration with 4 artists that include Niwako, Sunao Kasuga, Uchino Maiko, and Aki Hamaji. According to this comment here, it's a pretty wholesome moment on Aki Hamaji's live stream. Boo Womp is a low Bork sound effect created by Sound Ideas and owned by Hanna-Barbera. In episode 10, Nijika went into tears saying this. This sound effect is best known for SpongeBob SquarePants. Each hair color of each Kasoku band member kind of represents a SpongeBob character. UFOs. UFOs appear several times throughout the anime. The opening starts out in space. In episode 4, she has 2 boxes dedicated to outer space in her mind. In episode 9, Bocchi watches a video on black holes. I guess Bocchi has an interest in space. I'm like Bocchi for real. For real is a phrase that refers to them saying they're like Bocchi and can play guitar just like her. We have social anxiety and have a fear of people just like her too. We are human and Bocchi isn't human, but we'll get to that part later. Hitoriboki. You might think that the name Hitoriboki comes from Bocchi the Rock, right? Wrong. The name Hitoriboki actually comes from an anime called Hitoriboki no Marumaru Seikatsu. If you compare both Hitori characters side by side, we can see they both have the same first name, have social anxiety, and are shy. Bocchi in her last name is actually the same name Ryo gave Hitori Goto the nickname Bocchi in episode 1. Ryo eating weed. This right here is an actual weed. Turns out the weed she's eating is dandelion according to M64, but I personally think it's grassweed. Yeah, this Ryo eating weed entry is a joke. After all, Japan banned weed in 1948, and if you get caught, you're looking at 5 to 10 years of imprisonment, depending on the purpose. And on top of that, 2 to 3 million yen fine. Kikuri alcoholism. Kikuri is an alcoholic from drinking sake. This causes Kikuri to forget about everything. She has a spiral of happiness that she has while being drunk. Did you know this picture is actually based off a Japanese meme called The Cycle of Dependency? Yeah, I didn't know about that. I know this line is a joke, but don't let your kids drink sake. That line literally promotes kids into drinking sake, which is messed up. Even they can't tell the difference between a sake juice box and regular juice box. Alcohol is only meant for adults to drink. End of story. Monster Energy. In episode 3, Bocchi calls in Nijika after wanting to throw a party to try get Kita reunite the Kasoku band. The energy drinks Nijika brings out are called Mofster Hamaji, a parody of Monster Energy. Hamaji is a combination of Hamazi and energy. Coming up next is Tier 2.
Buff Nijika. In episode 12, Nijika feels isolated and considers buying either a guitar or bass for herself. Then this happened. Buff Nijika is playing the drums with 2 guitars. The rainbow effect looks like she ate one of those superstars. After that, she says this. Concept Room is a room decorated with panels and posters of the work's visuals. They're held at the Karaoke no Tetsujin, Ikebukuro, or Akihabara shows Dori exit stores. It's Bocchi the Rock, collaboration with Karaoke no Tetsujin. This event period only lasted for 17 days from August 23rd to October 9, 2023. When you're about to go inside, you notice the concept room number 406. Inside the rooms are 3 Bocchi the Rock posters on the wall, with sofas and 1 flat table with a Bocchi the Rock logo. From there, you can sing karaoke from one of these 16 Bocchi songs. Bokita. Bokita is known as Bocchi x Kita, an introvert meeting an extrovert. Bokita fan art is mostly them either hand-holding or kissing. Some of those fans wanted to see them kiss in season 2, but that's highly unrealistic, cause I think Aki Hamaji doesn't want to include that in her show. After all, this anime genre is comedy music and not a romance one. Netflix subtitles. When Bocchi the Rock anime was added on Netflix, the subtitles were, let's say, in interesting. Here's another subtitle mistake with the B word. Lazy naming. Some of the characters' names are pretty lazy. Like Pie-san, Fan 1 and Fan 2. I mean, take a look at Ryo and Ame's first name. They only have 3 letters in their first name. Ryo's last name is based off music company called Yamaha. Poison Yami's name is also lazy because Yami is the name of her fashion, and poison is a common prefix for toxic. Yami's real name is the most generic name ever, that being Aiko Sato. Finally, we got Hitori and Futari, meaning that Hitori means one person or one ahoge, while Futari means 2 persons or 2 ahoges. Like, how can her parents give her such a lazy name? The only reason why they're named that way is because of the author. No real canonical explanation. Asian Kung Fu Generation. Kesoku band member's last name is the same last name for AKFG's band members. Masafumi was born on December 2nd and Bocchi's birthday, February 21st. The numbers are in reverse order. This goes for the rest of them too. Both bands play the same instruments. Most of the Ajikan references come from the anime episode titles. Here's a list of Asian Kung Fu Generation songs for episode titles. Plus there's a playlist if you want to listen to these songs. Omori. In episode 7, these eyes look identical to the video game called Omori. There's no explanation for this. The comments were like, Bocchi is just Aubrey mixed with Sunny. It's just a design theme. Traumatized or depressed looking eyes with emotionless face. And Omori's simple art style that resembles lots of anime. Nijika's ponytail. Can we not address the fact that Nijika's ponytail is not only uncomfortable to wear, but also the ponytail is like half of Nijika's height? Almost like she can use her ponytail as a multi-purpose. Like a rotary blade that causes Nijika to fly in the air like a helicopter. Kita middle finger. In episode 9, ending, Kita raises her index finger to appeal to the audience. However, it looks a lot like she's flipping them off instead with a middle finger. So much so that mangaka made it canon. But hold on, how is this the index finger if it's in the center? An oversight by the animator. It's like when a 3-fingered character looks like they're giving the middle finger despite it being their index. This is what Kita's index finger would have looked like if the animators placed it in the correct spot. My theory is they put it in the direct middle on purpose, and within months, clips on YouTube go viral, causing others wanting to watch the show for themselves. Someone even did a fan animation of it, which shows how powerful a viral clip can really be. Bocchi Live Stage is a stage play called Live Stage Bocchi the Rock. It ran from August 11th to August 20th, 2023 at the Theater Milanoza in Shinjuku, Tokyo. This live entertainment theater has about 900 seats. But hold on, notice anything odd on this cover picture here? These aren't the anime Bocchi voice actors we're used to. Nah, these are cosplayers. It stars Mirai Omori as Kita, Karen Osanai as Ryo, Miki Otake as Nijika, and finally Mamo Mamono as Bocchi. Here's the rest of the character cast. The play was directed and written by Akira Yamazaki, which basically covered the plot by volume 1 in manga. The stage play only covered 8 episodes from the anime. Kiruki's spin-off. Kiruki Hiroi has a spin-off called Bocchi the Rock Gaiden Hiroi Kiruki no Fukazake Niki. That was released on the Comic Foods website. Kiruki Hiroi is 25 years old, riddled with debt, values alcohol, and base more than life itself, while living in a 52-year-old no-bathroom apartment with shady incidents. Yeah, that's her story. This is how many chapters it currently has, all not only focusing on the titular drunkard Kiruki, but also some of the characters like Yoyoko. Bocchi Movie is a recap compilation film that was announced on May 21st, 2023. But on October 14, 2023, Aniplex posted this promotional video. And as you can see right here, the Bocchi recap movie is going to be split into 2 parts. The first in spring 2024 and the second in summer 2024. There's a possibility the recap movie are going to have scenes reanimated from the ground up, and the possibility of it having 2 new songs within the movie itself. Now, some people have theorized that right after both parts of Bocchi recap movie releases, there will be a season 2 announcement. I think it was Aniplex's idea to make a Bocchi recap movie. After all, they like money. But wait, there's more. On November 6, 2023, the tweeted saying, official title decided for this Bocchi movie. They named it Theater Compilation Bocchi the Rock Riri went trending in Japan because of this. Now you might think, oh, the word Riri reminds me of ReZero because they both got Ri in the title. Well, that might be true, but not even close. Riri song is made by Asian Kung Fu Generation. It was used for the Erased anime opening in 2016. The original version of this song dates back to 2004. They're using the Riri song for the Bocchi end movie credits. They'll likely make a Bocchi cover of it to stand out more. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. If we look at Bocchi the Rock logo, the last two words represent a celebrity name, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Get it? Because both names have The Rock in it. Big Time Rush is an American pop music boy band formed in 2009, the same year the show was aired by Nickelodeon. The group is composed of 4 members: Kendall Schmidt, James Maslow, Logan Henderson, and Carlos Penaviga. But how is this related to Bocchi the Rock? They're not related, but hear me out. There are 3 things. The first is that both of these titles have one acronym in common, BTR. The second is that both bands have 4 members. And lastly, on December 1st, 2022, Triple Q posted this Boyfriend Complex cover of Bocchi the Rock, and Big Time Rush, which is a mix of 2 songs, Chess Complex and Boyfriend. It's a pretty good crossover song. Music video references. In the manga, the beginning of every chapter includes an illustration at the start of Bocchi and other Kesoku band members, reenacting moments from various music videos by Japanese bands. In episode 1, we see Bocchi trying to get the attention by wearing lots of band merch. These badges are reference to Super Beaver and the Cro-Magnons. Every poster we see in Starry Live House is a reference to a Japanese band. In episode 6, Bocchi has wings and guitar with wings too. This reference to Japanese rock group, the Alfie, and yes, they do perform with wing guitars. In episode 4, Bocchi tries to act as an extrovert and dances. She's reenacting John Travolta's famous disco scene from the movie Saturday Night Fever. We can see Bocchi wearing a heart-shaped glasses when she invites Kida and Nikisha to her house. Her glasses are a star. This is a musician reference to Elton John. He usually wears colorful sunglasses while performing. Jimmy Hen reference to Hendrix. Jimmy Hen is a Shiba Inu who's the pet dog of the Goto family. The dog name Jimmy Hen is a reference to American guitarist, songwriter named Jimi Hendrix. In episode 12, we see the silhouette of Jimi Hendrix burning his guitar. How did Jimi Hendrix burn his guitar on fire? In the 1967 Monterey Pop Festival, Jimi Hendrix lit a match and set the guitar on fire, later on to destroy his guitar. Hendrix later said that, "I decided to destroy my guitar at the end of the song as a sacrifice. Yes, sacrifice things you love. I love my guitar." Undertale. In the Undertale release trailer, we can see 3D Toriel crashing into blocks. In episode 11, 3D Bocchi gets fling into blocks. Here's the comparison side by side. The Scream. In episode 10, Kida turns into Bocchi's application for the Culture Festival stage. This caused Bocchi to turn into the Scream. This is a reference to the Scream painting created by Norwegian artist Edvard Munch in 1893. Most people assume the figure is screaming, but the reality is he's actually covering his ears to block the scream. The Beatles. In episode 5, Kido, Ryo, and Bocchi are wearing mop-top haircuts and suits. To Western fans, this is a reference to the Beatles. They had matching mop-top haircuts and identical suits as part of their brand. Mop-top haircuts are trendy for young men in Japan's music scene. Also, am I not the only one to know Ryo Yamada looks like Rin Shima from Yuru Camp? The eye style here looks identical. The difference is the eye color. Evangelion. In episode 10, Bocchi wakes up in the school infirmary and says this. In episode 14, Shinji said ceiling too. The second time Bocchi went to the school infirmary was in episode 12. She didn't want to speak into the microphone, all because she wanted to crowd surf like Kikuri. But there's a problem. Bocchi went for it, but didn't think about it until the last second, facing directly towards the floor.
Everybody do the flop!
In episode 8, Bocchi tried then taking guitar and microphone, congratulating her. In episode 26 ending, Shinji gets congratulated by the people. In episode 9, the Hawks are flying in the air, later on to attack Bocchi. We can see the Hawks in the end of Evangelion movie 2. Dragon Ball. In episode 9, Bocchi gets bullied by a group of Hawks flying over her and eventually becomes Yamcha after being pecked to death by all those Hawks. Here's the comparison. In episode 12, Bocchi goes Super Saiyan mode like Goku after she tried to quit her part-time job but couldn't. My Dress-Up Darling. In episode 9, you can see Ryo watches the same horror movie as Marin and Gojo in episode 12 of My Dress-Up Darling. The horror movie they were watching is called Onden, One Malicious Call. Here's another reference where these hawks steal food. Asita no Jo. In episode 8, Bocchi doing a defeated pose. This pose she's doing is actually from episode 47 of Ashira no Jo 2. In episode 7, Bocchi turned into ash. Episode 14 of Ashira no Jo 2, Jo Yabuki said this. Hitamari sketch. In episode 10, when Bocchi wakes up from her rock star dream, this girl seated next to Bocchi has X-shaped decoration on her hair. This is a reference to a character named Yuno from Hitamari sketch. It's a cool design though. FLCL. In episode 3, Bocchi is running down the hallway. Same can be said for Haruko Haruhara. Bocchi's broken string. In episode 12, before Bocchi was gonna do her solo, the string broke. Then Bocchi did the unthinkable and grabbed Kiruki's sake cup to perform the solo, and the scene is really cool. If Kiruki didn't bring her sake cups, Bocchi wouldn't be able to perform her solo, which would ultimately embarrass herself and run off stage. The scene may be referencing to the May 2016 moment where guitarist Guthrie Govan noticed his string snapped, then by using the slide, it allowed his ear to get perfectly intonated with the music. He's able to counteract the fact that his entire guitar just went crazy out of tune. Shimo Kitazawa Ambassador. On September 12, 2023, Kesoku Band became an ambassador of Shimo Kitazawa. They are on a task of promoting Shimo Kitazawa as Curry Town in conjunction with the Shimo Kitazawa Curry Festival from October 5th to 22nd, where 116 food outlets around the town will offer various kinds of curry for the people to enjoy. The town will hold various events, including Curry Stamp Rally, where people can win BTR merchandise too. Following it up next, we got Tier 3.
Hamaji's Tumblr. If you go onto this link, Aki Hamaji has a Tumblr page, but she only posted 2 things there before she dipped. The first post about her saying she wants to write about instruments and accessories related to this series, as well as live houses and music stores from it. Well, that aged badly. The end shows this Bocchi illustration. The second post was about Bocchi using Kikuri's Seikan as a guitar pick in episode 12, or chapter 20 in manga. She referenced this video many times when Hans Zimmer string broke and did a clean slider transition effortlessly, plus all this cool stuff and others. The end shows this Kikuri illustration this time. The reason she started Tumblr in June 2019 was to kill time. Bocchi's silhouette, Sakura Origami, pointed out that in the Bocchi opening, we can see silhouettes of Kira, Nijika, and Ryu. Now, most Bocchi fans probably wouldn't even recognize these silhouettes in plain sight when they first watched the Bocchi opening. This caught me off guard, cause I didn't notice this for 8 months until now. The reason why I didn't spot it is because I was looking at Bocchi running and the guitar spinning. I thought the silhouettes in the background were dust clouds. It's like the creator never told us about it and was like, let's throw in hidden secrets that only Bocchi fans can find themselves. The comments of it were like, Saddam's hiding place and others saying it's Evangelion all over, because the Evangelion opening does actually show silhouettes multiple times throughout the opening. I guess Aki Hamaji is a Evangelion fan after all.
Bocchi Cafe. Tower Records Cafe announced a limited time collaboration with Bocchi the Rock. There are 3 cafes total. So here's the menu and food itself. Pink blob looks like yogurt. So here's their merch line and postcards. For every food and drink item you order, you get 1 random coaster. Spending 2,500 yen on the menu would get you one of these 5 Bocchi cards at random. There is even a fan art message wall.
Bocchi the Radio is a web radio program hosted by Bocchi's voice actress Yoshino Ayama. This radio program delivers the latest information about Bocchi the Rock anime. There are 3 contents for this: Bocchi Prediction Test, Confession Room, and Bocchi the Order. Bocchi the Radio wins 3 awards in 8th Aniradi Awards. Best Comedy Radio, Best Female Radio, Radio of the Year. Even the Bocchi Anime Twitter account tweeted about it. For those wondering, these live streams are aired on Onsen and Aniplex, Japan's YouTube channel, and they did 40 live streams. Bocchi is racist. This is a radio cut from Bocchi the Radio during an interview with Ayama Yoshino. She talks about how she played Among Us on international servers, trying to speak English. At the time, the game didn't have Japanese language option. The options were Indonesian, Korean, and English. So she apparently learned Indonesian and English through Among Us. But then this happened.
Black is no.
Needless to say, the internet took it out of context. Kida's weight. This happened right after one of their live streams where they were discussing Kida's weight, and because of it, Ikuyo Kida went trending on Twitter because of her weight loss. Kesuka's weight and height revealed in Hamaji's stream. Kida is 158 centimeters, 44 kilograms, a little underweight, and Bocchi is close to overweight. Schizophrenia. In episode 4, Kida posts pictures on Insta all the time, then Nijika asks Bocchi to make an Instagram. This got Bocchi schizophrenia. It looks like a panic attack. It's kind of painful to watch. Zepp Haneda. On April 23rd, 2023, they announced a Bocchi live event at Zepp Haneda in Tokyo on May 21st, 2023, called Unity Band Live Hoshi-sai. The event promises to be a memorable experience as the band performs songs from the Kesoku band album, with Ikumi Hasegawa taking the lead as the main vocalist. A lot of people really thought they would announce Bocchi Season 2 during the Zepp Haneda event, but instead, we got a Bocchi recap movie announcement. Not only does this stage have a maximum capacity of 2,925, but the ticket cost 8,800 yen, while the livestream archive tickets only cost 4,130 yen. Road to Guitar Hero series is a 13-episode reality program about Bocchi's voice actor Yoshino Aoyama learning guitar, then play a Bocchi song with it in front of a stage. In the final episode, nearly 5 months after episode 2, not only did she play a Bocchi song with a guitar on shelter stage, but also broke her string. Bocchi's scream is real. The Bocchi voice actor Yoshino Aoyama did this scream. That wasn't edited minus the glitch effects. Here's her screaming the iconic Banshee screech from episode 4 of Bocchi the Rock Live. Botchers. In episode 6, Bocchi tries to sell 5 tickets to meet the band's quota. However, while she thinks about that, Bocchi falls over, slamming her head on the concrete stair. Ouch. Play that back. If you're referring to Bocchi's botchers, it literally means according to TV tropes. Their meaning of botcher is a fan nickname used to refer to both the series and its protagonist, usually in an ironic fashion. AEW stands for All Elite Wrestling. Around the 40-second mark of this clip, a guy in the background pulls up a Bocchi sign. Here's a closer look at the Bocchi sign. These next 2 entries are fan fictions, Shattered Symphony and Shattered Seas, starting off with Shattered Symphony.
This fanfiction was created by Chester Drawers, and it's about Kesoku Band doing well until one fateful night. Bocchi dies in a car accident. That's just sad. The lost Hitori Goto hits Kesoku Band hard, and each member comes to terms with what happened to Bocchi and finds a way to move forward. Shattered Seas. This fanfiction was created by Mono Draken, and it's about Kesoku Band breaking up Hitori, somehow going back to the past and trying to change things for better or the worse. This fanfiction was inspired by scummy bandman Bocchi Dojin. Nijika Deer is a somewhat strange Japanese meme featuring Nijika in a deer's body. On Nico Nico Duga, this guy named The End posted a Nijika Deer movie titled Nijika Ijiji Collaboration, with a total length of 87 minutes filled with Nijika Deer memes. It was made by 59 people according to this Google spreadsheet. Here's another one called Zombie Deer Nijika posted by Drama King. This one is where a bunch of Nijika Deers raid Kita's house, with Nijika making her grrr sound from episode 4 and attacking Kita. When Bocchi came back, she saw Kita's skull body and then the rest of them attacked Bocchi. The ending shows this. Nijika Pledge. I can't be entirely sure of the Nijika Pledge's origins, but it was almost certainly made as a joke and with the intent to be copied and pasted wherever. Okay, after one Google search, the Nijika Pledge looks to be ripped from some other copy pasta. I found a near identical one for Scaramouche from Genshin Impact. And yeah, this copy pasta also seems to be built from other memes. 90% of the last paragraph in particular sticks out to me as a familiar one. Nijika Church? If I were to guess what Nijika Church is, it would probably be cult following created by crazy Nijika fans praising the Lord and Savior Nijika herself. That's an entire dedicated subreddit about the church coverage of Nijika, it's mostly Nijika fan art and copy pasta. Bocchi at War. There is a Bocchi mod for Heart of Iron 4 called Bocchi at War, created by these 4 people. Now, for the 80% of people who don't know what it is, Heart of Iron 4 is World War II grand strategy game. The game costs $40. Not only that there is a focus tree, which are different paths to progress the game, 4 full paths for each Kisoku band member, 95% unique events, and almost every character from Bocchi the Rock is here, each one with a shiny new portrait and traits. They even got a landmark called Kisoku. Chainsaw Man Rivalry. On December 15th, 2022, Bocchi the Rock topped Chainsaw Man as the highest rated non-sequel anime of fall 2022. Just 2 days later after this My Anime List tweet, there were Bocchi fans and Chainsaw Man fans in the comment section having a war. I mean, take a look at some of these comments. That's like 6 categories to explain the comment section after Bocchi passed them. The first is that CSM fans calling Bocchi fans weirdos. The second, people calling Bocchi the Rock a K-On! Clone. The third is how Bocchi favorites almost have the same amount of downvotes as Chainsaw Man. Probably the Hater Hanks. The fourth, Bocchi the Rock is just better than Chainsaw Man based of these images. Fifth, Bocchi hating on Chainsaw Man because it's boring, cringe, gory, simple-minded shonen according to Jozu and it being mid. Some fans dislike the show's CGI animation, which brings up my 6th final category, hashtag Bocchi sweep. They deserve the victory after all. This situation has gotten out of control from just the comment section alone, which may have started the rivalry and the reason why this entry is on the bottom tier 3. Up next is tier 4.
Aki Hamaji's pen name is Chiaki Hayami. Hamazi's real name has Chiaki. She said it in the Blue Archive stream, so she doesn't care if the player name is her real name. That pen name reminds me of a character named Chiaki Hayami from Project Sekai Colorful Stage. 27 Club is about popular musicians, artists, actors, and other celebrities who died at age 27. At the start of the series, Hikari is 25, while Seika is 29. Now this is where the theory comes into play. It was mentioned that Seika repeated a year in university. This makes the maximum possible age gap between her and Hiroi 4 years. Seika is 31 in chapter 64, making Hikari's age being at least 27. Even the voice actor of her is also 27 years old. Hikari might join the 27 club, basically saying that Hikari may die because of alcohol poisoning. Pie-san's real name. In the manga, they just state Pie-san, but there's no actual real name as the complex guidebook character file and volume 6 character introduction only lists her name as Pie-san. She's officially considered nameless and her actual name will remain unknown, for now at least. Have you ever wondered what PA stands for in Pie-san? Now, some people think PA in Pie-san stands for either personal assistant or even Pennsylvania. Okay, that last word is a joke. PA actually stands for public address system. You see, it's a nickname given to a person responsible for managing the public address system, or PA system in short. After all, PA-san is a sound engineer who deals with the PA sound system. In her free time, she streams gameplay as a virtual YouTuber named Aruto Otogi. Bocchi isn't human. Apparently, the mangaka said Bocchi isn't human. She transforms into something wacky from a 3D model, dust, and even a popping balloon. We saw UFOs throughout some Bocchi episodes, so that could be a sign of her not being human. Not only that, but Aki Hamaji mentioned in a tweet from 2019 that Bocchi is not a human and wants to make a story where Kisoku band members try to create a guitar with Bocchi's body. Like, what the heck? If she were to take this idea from 2019, the anime title of this show would be called Bocchi Got Reincarnated as a Guitar. Anime shows with reincarnated in title usually result in 5 and 7-star ratings. Bocchi's guitar pick. If you bought the Bocchi manga Time Kilala Max from either one of these 2 issues, it comes with a Bocchi's guitar pick since there's 2 different designs you can get, the Bocchi Chin and the Golden Bocchi. The design of the Bocchi Chin guitar pick looks weird and a bit disturbing. It is actually from chapter 13 of Bocchi manga or episode 8 in the anime. The Golden Bocchi guitar pick design looks amazingly clean. Apparently, the more times you use it, Bocchi's chin gets smaller. The guitar pick will wear out over time. Kita is Filipino. Turns out this entry is a fun joke. And no, Kita isn't actually Filipino. The community made her Filipino because her name is also a pun in Filipino, income. Here's some Filipino phrases that use the word Kita. Aki Hamaji's leaked memo. Turns out this leaked memo is a joke. Aki Hamaji tends to shitpost sometimes. Although this line here is a spoiler for those who have never read the manga series of Bocchi the Rock. Kita having athlete's foot in May 2023. Hamaji tweeted about Kita having athlete's foot on her alt account when talking about the latest manga chapter at the time, chapter 66. Bocchi tries to lie about having athlete's foot as an excuse to get out of going to Kita's house, but Kita just lends her ointment. The text on it literally says athlete's foot. Aki Hamaji did post another tweet about it on her main Twitter, but it's since been deleted because her editor made her delete the post. Bocchi fan animation. We got this dude named Shiken Dream, and he makes fan animations. His most viewed one is the Bocchi fan animation, which got over 1.4 million views. Nijika wants to buy some clothes for Bocchi, then Bocchi tries out 8 different outfits from AT Field, Maiden, Chinese dress, cheerleader, tracksuit, swimsuit, bride, and lastly Amaya. Nijika starts over after Ryu asks her to buy all the outfits. This caused Bocchi to collapse.
ぼっちちゃんどうした死んだおーい
After that, the ending shows this random pop-up for 4 frames. From what we can tell, we can see the left one kinda like a Doraemon, but Bocchi version. He's working on another Bocchi fan animation, because not only he put out pinned comment about making it with his friends, but also this storyboard Les Paul. Judging by the photo, we can see a bunch of guitars that resemble Bocchi's guitar. The one Bocchi uses is the 1968 Gibson Les Paul custom guitar, which ranges from $5,000 to $6,199. These guitars right here aren't secondhand. All of them are actually brand new. There's so much demand for that. They have to stock up to sell well for the market. It's all for Bocchi the Rock fans. Yeah, you can find cheaper alternatives for like $150, but I wouldn't recommend buying them because they're often made with cheap materials. Less attention to detail, which results in poor sound quality and playability. Not as durable as higher-end models, require more frequent repairs or maintenance, poor tuning stability, poor intonation, lack of high-quality hardware and low-quality strings. Some manufacturers love selling cheap guitars because people are more likely to buy something for a low price. Therefore, the more customers, the better profit. Hikari's tattoo looks like a sunflower, baseball, and even weed. Here's more examples of that tattoo. Hikari Hiroi is literally based off a trans musician named Margaret Hiroi from rock band called 88 Casio Junrei, according to this tweet here. The tattoo Margaret wears is from a song named Butsumetsu Trishna. Hikari and Margaret have the same last name. Both bands have 3 members and play the same instruments. It's safe to say Side Hack Band is inspired by 88 Casio Junrei. Pie-san's split tongue. In a recently revealed illustration of Pie-san in a bunny suit by Hamaji herself, it is confirmed Pie-san has a split tongue. It became canon with the Volume 6 manga release. Hamaji's alt Twitter account. Her alt Twitter account is called Osiri Itai69. She's a Leonardo DiCaprio fan. The background image you see here is from an R-rated movie called The Wolf on Wall Street. The lady on the left is Margot Robbie, who happens to voice Barbie from the Barbie movie. If we look at this bio, it says, daily tweets, impressions of works I've seen. Please don't expect my topic. DiCaprio love. Please let me know if there is any new information about Mr. Leo. Hamaji mostly tweets stuff about Leonardo DiCaprio. Most of her tweets have no comments at all, or barely any. She also talks about her life and movies she watches. Although sometimes she would rarely tweet stuff like Baseball Rio, tarantulas, and some of her anime collectibles. Finally, we got these 2 tweets. One of them said, I'm spitting blood out of my ass, and the other one said, I had a band seizure, so I applied for all the live performances. We're heading up to Tier 5, and this is where it gets disturbing.
Heaven for Death is a RPG maker game created by Soy on January 27th, 2023. It's kinda like a visual novel, has some RPG elements with no fights at all. The story is about Ryo dying and going to heaven, where Nijika, who is an angel, helps her. Together, they're in heaven. Ryo has lost her memories and she's accused of being a sinner for causing someone else's death. So Nijika tries to prove that Ryo is innocent. It's a pretty sad story with 3 final endings. A bad, normal, and a good one. The game lasts around 2 hours. During Chapter 5, visit Nijika house again, and the password will be in the trash can. Make sure to screenshot or memo it well, since it will only be shown once. If you open the chest, you will find a very long depressing monologue from Ryo that will give you PTSD. Basically, it's a suey note saying Ryo committed it cause Nijika was gone all of a sudden and everyone's memory about her was erased. Ryo felt missing someone who was so precious, so she started to go insane. The band collapsed. Everyone was depressed. Rio invited Bocchi to end her together. Remember that it's just a video game. Kirara Fantasia is a mobile fantasy RPG using characters from the manga magazines under the Manga Time Kirara brand. A crossover gacha game series developed by Dracom and published by Aniplex, released in Japan on 12/11/2017 for iOS and Android devices. The game crosses over characters from all Manga Time Kirara magazines. On October 12, 2022, Bocchi, Kita, Nijika, and Rio were added into the game. We kind of actually had a Bocchi the Rock and K-On! Crossover game when you think about it. This is probably the closest thing we'll get to a Bocchi the Rock game for now. But unfortunately, tragedy struck when the game was shut down on February 28, 2023 after a 5-year and 2-month run. Part of the game will still be accessible in offline mode for players who hadn't deleted it. The reason why the game was shut down is because the content has become so bloated. Yoyoko's sister. Yoyoko has a sister, I guess? Kind of? I don't know. Bocchi Tokutens. These Bocchi Tokutens are store bonus items featured in some bookstores like Tsutaya. These include bonus mangas, illustrations plus extras, mainly for the manga. Like this one from March 2020, for example. The obscure ones comes from volume 6, and no, it's not this. I'm talking about this Bunny the Rock set. The most ridiculous one is Pasan. Her outfit is a bit revealing. Scummy Bandman Bocchi. This manga series is 40 chapters created by Namazu4545 about Bocchi being an alcoholic or smoker after her breakup with Kesuku band, joined another band and being somehow worse than Kikuri. Chapter 1. Scummy Bocchi is in sus position. Most of the time, Bocchi is hanging out with Fan 2 to comfort themselves. Futari playing guitar, she thinks she's better than Bocchi. The final chapter where Bocchi and Nijika did fist bump, and this poster at the end which looks cool. Deaf Bocchi Dojin. The story starts off with Hitori Goto being 25 years old. She loses hearing and all hope, thinking and tries to jump into a railroad crossing. But at that moment, she transported back in time to the past to relive her days in Kesuku band. In short, Bocchi went deaf, left Kesuku band, committed but instead of dying, she got transported to past or alternate timeline. I guess she was having a hard time. The title of this doujin is called I Can No Longer Hear the Railway Crossing, created by Wano49. It has 32 pages and song included. You can get it for 700 yen. Aki Hamaji is NSFW artist. Starting off, we can see the original character design of Bocchi according to Aki Hamaji's Twitter account. By end of 2022, she posted this bunny girl Bocchi, which got over 144,000 likes, and whatever this is. User named Accelerator Angel made forum post called Anime vs Manga Censorship. On that post, he points out that in the manga, you can see Bocchi naked, but in episode 2, they decided not to show that and only show Bocchi's head with a body shadow. They removed it because of this here, and Japanese fanbase were not happy about it. Then a user by the name of Kiral50 claimed that he had seen Aki Hamaji's Pixiv profile before and sent me 3 links of artwork to the supposed page. I clicked the links and it says an error has occurred. The creator has limited who can view this content, meaning her account isn't deleted. I'm out of luck and resorted to look it up on Google, and then I found this. Now when you click on her Danburu artist profile, you can find NSW artwork of anime or video game characters on this site that she might have unlisted on her Pixiv. If you look at the artist tab, click on that and you'll see the URLs of her social media. You may have noticed that she has 2 Pixiv accounts and another Pixiv link. Let's see what happens when I click on them. The first link leads to her first Pixiv account and it says no works found, unless all of it was unlisted because of this error box we saw earlier. The second and third link, her second Pixiv account has been deleted. I don't know why she did this, but I guess she doesn't want us to know about it. Sakura Origami knows that the name Aki Hamazi comes from an Arrow game. She said it in YouTube membership stream. And lastly, we got the bottom tier, tier 6.
Nijika's missing a O.H.K. So the chair guy found out that in episode 1 of Nijika's first ever appearance, Nijika's O.H.K. is missing. The animators forgot to put in the Dorito top from a 2.703 second clip, despite them drawing it frame by frame. I don't know how this went under their radar, but people make mistakes all the time. This is the only episode her top went missing, because episodes 2 to 12 don't have this error. Now some of the comments were saying this is unwatchable, or maybe Bocchi was the reason the Dorito top exists, but that's simply not true. It was part of Nijika's design to begin with. Bocchi manga errors. On the Thailand version of Volume 4, we can see a printing error on Yoyoko's eyes, but this isn't the only printing error. Take a look at the right side here. Here it is without the printing error. On the left side, it looks like her beret is blending with her hair. According to a Chinese website, they pointed out these Taiwan and Japanese miscolor differences. But the one that stands out is this picture here. You can see the obvious net effect. Yandere Kita. The backstory behind Yandere Kita is pretty simple. It mostly kicked off with the mannequin thing in episode 12. People just started hand cannoning Kita as Yandere Kita hard because of this mannequin gag alone. Then Yandere Kita fan creations of it begin to circulate. What stood out from the rest is this. This is Yandere Kita fiction created by Ari Lewis. Not only is it 12 chapters long, but this fan fiction has over 34,000 words in it. Yandere Kita fiction is infamous in the community for being not well written, to say the least. It's the entertaining kind of bad. Here's the whole plot about it. Kita realizes she likes Bocchi, but kinda quickly realizes she doesn't like Nijika for no reason. She already hates her even before perceiving her as a rival. Kita starts to kinda lose it because she wasn't able to sleep thinking and hyperventilating over Bocchi, and Nijika being extremely dense and stupid. Kita eventually locks herself in the bathroom where she trips, injures her head, and then she breaks into Rio's house and talks with her. Then she breaks out and gets injured again, and she gets back to Starry, and things get back to normal for half a chapter. They have practice. Kita flops and are going to storm out, but Nijika decides to take her out for a restaurant of some kind so they can sorta make up. Instead, Kita drugs her, mixing alcohol with their stuff in arguably the one genuinely scary scene in the fiction. Nijika reveals she likes Bocchi, and Kita throws her down the stairs, gets crippled for the rest of the fiction. Then Bocchi and the crippled Nijika kiss and Kita sees it. Nijika gets kidnapped, and Bocchi, Kikuri, and Seika go rescue her. The writer puts a long segment about not having security footage to find out who threw and eventually kidnapped Nijika, when Seika literally lives at Starry where it all happened. They all meet the completely mentally destroyed Kita, and there's an actually kinda well-written fight scene and Rio suddenly shows up and Seika dies. Then Kita confesses to Bocchi and Bocchi rejects, so Kita kills her too. Hamazi's Gartic phone stream. Hotari's starter message was 2 people sent to underground labor. Far into Hamazi's Gartic phone stream, her starter prompt idea was Hotari working in underground child labor. Later on, with Hotari and Jimihan involved, Hamazi brought up the topic of alchemy fusion from Full Metal Alchemist. Ikumi Hasegawa voicing Eroge. Despite her voicing Kita, she voices Eroge character named Ersha from an anime called Interspecies Reviewers. However, on this visual novel database website, this is where things get a bit interesting. If we look at this list here, she has voiced 3 out of 33 visual novel games that are Eroge, those 3 being Ama Ie, Waga Himegini ni Eikan O, and Amakano 2+. She goes by the alias Akabane Kyoku for her adult-oriented works. Ikumi Hasegawa is currently affiliated with Raccoon Dog, a Japanese talent agency founded in 2021 and launched December 15, 2021, which handles mainly seiyus. They even have voice actor training school. Jimihan. What if I told you this word Jimihan actually has a dark secret behind this word in particular that not many would know? But hear me out. If you search Jimihan on Google, there's an anime called Jimihan with 2 exclamation marks. When we look at the anime cover of it, it's literally an eroge anime with it having 8 episodes, and the genre of it speaks for itself. There's no way that Aki Hamaji got the dog named Jimihan from a 2021 eroge anime titled Jimihan, right? Probably not. I mean, they both have the name Jimihan in it. Princess Hingoi. Princess Hingoi makes fan art, SFW and NSFW. They have 2 Twitter accounts, but we're only gonna be focusing on the left one. First off, here's some safe for work ones with Bocchi. Looks alright. Now here's the exact opposite of that. I had to censor a lot of this out, but these next 6 here I found are really disturbing, and some of these posts rack over 10,000 likes, maybe more. I wouldn't recommend you look these up, cause it might rot your brain despite them having like combined 500k followers total. And finally, the deepest we can go down to is Bocchi server lockdown. Before the incident, The server had over 82,000 members at the time. It all started on July 26, 2023, when a moderator tried to accuse the server owner of shared CP. He basically censored the image as a spoiler to make the owner look worse, because you never know if that image actually has it or not, and if you click on it, not only it could alert the internet provider and you'll be put on the FBI watch list, but it can land you 5 to 20 years of prison if you're convicted. Obviously the mod is lying. The censored image the owner posted is an NSFW image of Ichika from Blue Archive. He also mentioned the owner defending someone who has harassed staff and stalked people. That also is a lie. This caused the Bocchi Discord server to go on temporary lockdown, and most channels of the server were locked and hidden, not deleted. The next day on 727, the moderation team made a response statement along with this Reddit post saying, "This original post here was from a small friend server and not from the Bocchi server. The owner made decisions that went against moderator sentiment, and by end of June, 2 staff members got temporary demotion. Both were reinstated later and caused another staff to resign completely. It damaged the trust between certain staff members and the owner. And as for the person that tried to accuse the owner, their mod status was removed and banned from the server." All of these Reddit comments were shocked to witness what the actual f is wrong with this moderator in particular, and caused drama, all because of some disagreement.
Thanks to the Bocchi subreddit community, the Iceberg team, and ZaneKoon33 for helping me out with half of the script and thumbnail. Because without them, this Iceberg wouldn't be possible. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.